Good morning, NBA family. It's your boy DTLF back with another video. Unfortunately, this one I didn't want to make. Breaking news: Kyrie Irving out with a season-ending torn ACL. Very devastating for basketball fans, but especially for Maverick fans. Hopefully, everybody's doing good. This is, yeah, man. I'm excited for the Laker game, but very devastated for this injury because all of us basketball fans lose with this one. Um, so in such a controversial season. Um, the Mavericks now lose Kyrie Irving for the rest of the year, right? And Mavs fans are irate, and rightfully so. We're gonna break down everything and how we got to this point, and again, plenty of finger pointing, plenty of devastation going on in the chat. But um, I do believe that this reminded me so much of Kobe Bryant in the sense that Kyrie was at the top of his game, averaging 24 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, shooting 47% from the field. But again, he was averaging a career high, I think 39 minutes per game. And yes, Hardy also out. Yes, we're gonna get into that in a bit. But this got to be the worst trade in Mavs history by far. It might even be in NBA history for as far as lopsided trades. This just so much things trickled down and came to this. This again reminded me of that season when Kobe got hurt and tore his Achilles. And look, my guy went to the free throw line with tears in his eyes and made the Black Mamba proud, man, hitting his free throw. So I'm very proud of Kyrie. But again, it stinks, man. It sucks to see a player this good who was carrying his team, who was trying to become the Batman of this franchise, be out. And now they have nothing. And we're going to talk about Nico Harrison and just, again, the trade that will be talked about forever, man, as far as things go. It's time for the Mavericks to try to tank. It just is. This season is lost for them. From the moment they traded for Anthony Davis, from that very moment, they were supposed to go all in. And by the way, that's not the only trade. Like my guy D Free said, Dallas Mavericks will be without Jaden Hardy for a period of time after he sustained an ankle sprain last night. So again, it's just the trade that keeps trickling down. So last month, Laker fans woke up to one of our best mornings, or went to sleep to one of our best nights that we have had on February the 2nd, I believe. Luka Donćić was a Laker, right? Traded to the Lakers. Our Mavs fans, it was the beginning of a nightmare. From the very first game Anthony Davis played, the man got hurt. He sustained an injury that has kept him out. He hasn't played more than the one game. Max Christie has looked exceptional for the Mavericks. However, he's no Luka Donćić, right? And so Mavs fans, again, a lot of them pondering if they should leave. A lot of them are calling Nico Harrison the Darvin Ham of NBA GMs. So, that again, one of the most lopsided trades in the sense that they traded a 25-year-old phenom. And now I do believe that because I'm not going to blame this entire injury on the trade, though, because it was a freak accident and it happens. But the more mileage you put on your body, the more sustainable you are to these type of injuries. Now Kyrie's out, with a torn ACL, and his career and is kind of in question right now because he does have a player option. But I don't think he'll ever be the same. Kyrie's entire career is predicated on I mean, he's an amazing athlete, period. His speed and explosion really matters. His handle, he's got a great hang time, ability to finish above the rim. I hope he's as close to himself as possible, but these are the type of injuries that completely change athletes. And at 31, 32 years of age? It's going to be an extremely tough road for recovery for Kyrie, man. And I hope that he eventually gets back to what he was. Prayers up again. Gotta wish him the best. But this is very, very devastating for a player like him who, well, by the way, their window, I told you guys, if they don't win this year and next year, I think their window absolutely closes. As good as of a team as they had on paper with AD, Kyrie, and all those guys, their window most definitely closes. And again, devastating, man. Devastating to see for a player of that caliber. Man, one of my favorite players, I grew up watching Kyrie from the moment he came in with the Cavaliers. And unfortunately, I think this will definitely. I think this definitely takes away his the prime of his career, right? The remainder of the prime. I think he'll be a shell of himself for sure if he does fight and comes back. But can he ever be the same Kyrie? Man, I don't want to doubt him because he's got the Mamba mentality in him. But the truth of the matter is, man, that's again, I'm still shocked. I had to make this video. Now, again, going back to the trade. Now Kyrie's playing 39 minutes a game. You know, the argument will be made that they ran him into the ground. You know, the argument will be made that this man was ran into the ground. And again, I can't argue with that because once they traded Luka, a primary ball handler, you know, say all the pressure landed on Kyrie Irving's plate and playing 39 minutes a game just to try to stay afloat, just to try to stay in the playoff picture is, again, really, really tough to fathom why they made that trade. It makes no sense to me still till today. Even if AD was healthy, I didn't think they had a Batman. They traded their Batman away. I didn't think they had a Batman. And looking at the Western Conference, guys, it is extremely tough. It is extremely tough. Look at here. The Dallas Mavericks are currently clinging on to the number 9th seed. And when I say clinging, I mean clinging. You know, at 32-30. This actually gives an opportunity for the Suns to make a run here and try to leapfrog them for the play-in tournament. So remember, play-in tournament is 10 through 6, right? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 10 through 6? I think it's 10 through 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. No, 10 through 7, sorry. 10 through 7. So these 4 teams will battle it out to try to get, you know, the 8th and 7th seeds respectively. So, yeah, Mavs fans, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. This is your worst season in NBA history for you guys, for sure. With all these injuries, I mean, there's nothing you can do at this point. With all these damn injuries, this has to be the worst season in Mavs history. Let's see, Freeze, I think they have a 3-year window. Would this be hilarious? Because Nico said the future for him is a 3-year window. Tells you all you need to know about his mindset long term for him is a few years. Yeah, bro. This trade right here will haunt Mavericks fans for years. I still don't understand it to the day. I'm very happy we got Luka. Very happy. But again, also, Kyrie Irving is on, you know, he's got a 1-year opt, and you have to think he's going to opt in there because after this injury, it's going to be hard for him to get 40+ million anywhere else. So this completely, I think this injury completely takes him out of the free agency rumors of him. You know, there was already rumors of him coming to LA with a pay cut, which I didn't really think was plausible, but it's insane, right? Like how something could change in the blink of an eye. The damn first they have to deal with the Cowboys. Now the Mavs ownership, Dallas is down bad. You got to feel bad for the city. And this also makes me realize how good we have it here in Los Angeles. Like, we've been lucky to avoid injuries. I will say that first and foremost, but the moves we have made, guys, have been really good moves to set us up for the now and for the future, right? From all our sports franchises. Think of the Dodgers. The Dodgers get Ohtani. They win the championship on the first season and are now favorites to repeat again and win multiple more championships. We're that deep. Now you look at the Dodgers. Now you look at the Lakers. Lakers, we make a trade to compete for the now, and our trade looks even better and better. I mean, AD, first game with the Mavs, gets hurt, right? And that's always been our biggest concern as Laker fans, which is why we were shocked, as much as we love AD, that we were able to get Luka for AD. Not straight up, but pretty much almost so. We only included 1 first-round pick in Max Christie. That is a small price to play for a MVP candidate, right? But yeah, that's a devastator for them, man. And we're gonna be talking about this trade, I think, for years to come, because I think the Lakers will win championships and the Mavs will not. And I think Luka will be at the forefront of those championships, and the Mavs will not. Okay, it's that simple. They should tank and regroup next year. They've been injured all year, including Luka, taking the longest absence of his entire career. That's facts. That's facts. But they are now calling this the Luka curse, man. After trading Luka, they're all getting hurt, man. Derek Lively out on a walking boot, right? Daniel Gafford is out for an extended period. AD still out. Now Kyrie and Hardy. I mean, who's next, man? Prayers up for everybody over there. Chewy said, you're absolutely correct, Dan. Very similar to Kobe. It's sad to see an amazing player like Kyrie get injured like that and be out for the season. Playing him almost 40 minutes, shake my head. Yeah, it reminds me of when Mike D'Antoni ran Kobe Bryant into the ground. You know, and we also have to question the head coach Jason Kidd for that. Like, what were you doing, bro? I get it, you want to win, but 40 minutes a game is crazy. You know, Lakers keep our stars 30 on the regular. We try to keep them 35 minutes and down, right? Sometimes we go up to 38. We flirt with 40, but I don't like it. You know, we got to do a better job. This should be a warning for everybody out there. Like, don't run your superstars into the ground, especially us who have an older superstar in LeBron. You know, like, give him the day off today. I don't care. Like, make sure he's healthy. That's all we got to do, especially in time for the playoffs. It makes sense for Nico because he doesn't like Luka, got rid of all his guys, and there's reporting he didn't like the power he had in the organization, so basically froze him out. So you're telling me this has a Jerry Krause feeling to it, right? With the Bulls and the way he broke up the Bulls in order to try to get some of the love, I guess, or some of the credit. You gotta hate power hungry GMs that come in like that. And again, credit to the Lakers front office because they have listened to our superstars for the most part. You know, LeBron James, we have obliged. We have made him happy. And in return, they make us happy. It's a two-way street, right? You make your superstars happy, they make you happy. You know, Miami couldn't keep LeBron happy. He went back to Cleveland. Cleveland couldn't keep LeBron happy the second time. He left Cleveland twice, came to LA. So far, again, we've heard all the negative talk about Genie that they were saying, Rob Pelinka, but myself included, I was really hard on Rob Pelinka. He was on strike 2 for me. But they made the right moves at the right time, and they listened to their superstars. They listened to LeBron. They hired his podcasting partner in JJ, and that has been one of the best decisions we could have made. So shout out to LeBron for that, and shout out to Rob and Jeannie for listening, right? Contrary to what the casual fans were saying that, oh, she's cheap, and oh, you know, Rob doesn't know what he's doing. Well, patience is a virtue, and the Lakers had the patience. They struck the right deal, and now look, history will be made off of this trade. It will be. I hate to say it, but we dodged the bullet with AD. I hate to say it too, but this is a conversation we've had on here many, many times. We talked about, is it time to trade AD? Is the LeBron James, Anthony Davis window closing? Should we maximize on AD before he loses trade value? We talked about all of this. Yeah, sometimes they're controversial topics and it won't make everybody happy or comfortable, but they were valid. Now we look back, these were very valid conversations that we were having on this channel. Because, yeah, look, and again, I wish AD the best. I hope he can have a rest of the healthy season and all of that. But Mavs ain't going nowhere. Matter of fact, yesterday I had a Mavs fan tell me that the Lakers don't want to see the Mavs. And ironically, I told him, bro, the Mavs should worry about being healthy first. Okay? And look what happens today. So you hate to see it for them, but hey, you know, it was false hope that I think their GM Nico was selling them with that team, to be honest with you. Because again, they look very deep on paper. You had Kyrie, you had Daniel Gafford, you had Derek Lively, you had Anthony Davis, you had Max Christie, you had all these amazing role players, PJ Washington. They look amazing on paper, sure. The championships aren't won on paper. Look at the Suns. They thought they were going to be on a championship run with Devin Booker, KD. Then they added Bradley Beal, and then they added all these other role players. They fired their coach. They hired Budenholzer. Championships aren't won on paper. They're on the verge of not even being in the play-in, right? So again, big mistake. I don't think you ever trade a 25-year-old phenom ever. Let this be a lesson to everybody out there. Not only did they mortgage their future, but they mortgage their present. They're most likely going to miss the playoffs. Most likely, even if they make the play-in tournament, I think they'll bounce. It would take an insane run for them to even make the postseason with over 20 games left here in the regular season. He said all their bigs were supposed to come back a couple of weeks. Gotta wonder if it's even worth it. Nah, bro, I would shut it down and start tanking, just like we said earlier in the video. Absolutely, D-Free. I agree with you when you said that, because I think their fans will agree too. I mean, if you have any sort of shot at Cooper Flag, even if it's like you're the 14th chances to get, in the lottery odds to get him, just never know. Kyrie needs to be on the court. They had no playmaking. It was him, Exum, and Dinwiddie. Their massive gap there. They need an offseason to get a playmaker anyway. Exactly my point, man. The pressure fell on him after the trade completely. And again, it reminds me of when Mike D'Antoni ran Kobe Bryant into the ground. Listen, they're calling Nico Harrison the Darvin Ham of NBA GMs. It doesn't get any worse than that. I mean, Mavs fans are down bad, man. You should see the gifts they are tweeting out here. And they should be. I mean, it is absolutely devastating. If I'm Nico Harrison, I'm out of town. I'm working remotely. I'm not showing up to work because there's going to be pitchforks waiting for you, bruh. You sold the fan base an immediate championship run, and that's clearly not going to happen. And I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if it happens next year, depending on how Kyrie comes back. Prayers up, wishing him a speedy recovery. But it's not going to be great, man. It's not going to be great for them. Thank you, Kimiko. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. By the way, good morning. Yes, we do have a Laker game. This is not the pregame. We are talking Kyrie Irving's injury. Pregame will come later on today, probably 1 hour before tip-off. So I think we tip off at 7:30 Pacific. We will be doing pregame at 6:30 Pacific. BJ says, we love you, Kyrie. One of the first guys since KB that caught my eye as a born killer. This is why you can't squander opportunities, man, because you never know when you won't have them again. He didn't have the best finals performance. Still a great guy. Still an amazing player. But who knows if he'll ever get there again to that grand stage, right? Like, again, this will be his final $40 million plus contract. Nobody's paying a guy who's coming off of an ACL tear $40+ million again. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope he makes at least one more contract after this, but he might get paid 20+. I don't see 40 million in his future anymore. And that's sad because, the Nets, after banning him and all that, the whole controversy he had over there in Brooklyn, he lost a lot of money. And it's like, it feels like not only will he not recover, but he'll continue to lose more now with this injury. You hate to see it for a player like that who works so hard and has a great work ethic and has a true love for the game. One of the few players in the modern NBA, with LeBron, with a couple of these other guys, but one of the few players that has a true love for the game, and he gives it his all every time he's out there. That's one thing you can never say about Kyrie is he took the night off. Never. He truly has a Mamba mentality, and it was on display when he marched to the free throw line. Again, tears in his eyes. This man had tears in his eyes from the pain. I mean, that's really sad, man. And the fact that he had to get help to the free throw line just to shoot the free throws. I don't even know if he knocked him down. I wasn't watching the game, but this is going to be part of his legacy now. And, Kyrie, can he come back from ACL? And how good can he be when he comes back? There's going to be lots of question marks there. There you go. He knocked down his first one. Let's see if he knocks down the second one. I didn't even see this, to be honest. This is my first time watching. I thought I'd load up the clip for you guys because, again, this is reminiscent of the late, great Kobe Bryant and what he did. He knocked down his 2 free throws. So the Mamba will be proud. Yep, he knocked them both down. So, again, standing ovation, well-deserved for Kyrie Irving. Right? Just going to the free throw line, let alone knocking him down. Let's see here. Dan, Lakers fans need to shower Kai with love. He has that Kobe love. Oh, we love Kyrie, man. Laker fans have always loved Kyrie. From the moment that he was on Team USA practicing with Kobe on that Olympic team and they were going at each other in practice, I think that was when I truly fell in love with his game, and his work ethic and his heart. He has a lot of heart and he doesn't back down for nobody. But when I really, really was enamored by Kyrie was when he hit that dagger, that clutch dagger that Cavs fans remember, right? Over Steph Curry. To secure the NBA championship, the biggest one of LeBron's career so far. I think it was in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Or 16, 17. That right there for me is the tip top of Kyrie's career. That has been the mountaintop. He's never climbed a higher slope than that. That was such a highlight in his career, and he already had my respect, but he definitely had my admiration after he hitting that clutch shot over Curry, who, by the way, Curry couldn't hit shit that game. Curry was off, otherwise they would have won that game 7. So, we credit to the Cavs defense. 15-16, thank you, bro. Thank you. Shout out to the LeBron fans in the chat. They know exactly the year. Appreciate you. But yeah, no, Kyrie, man, for sure. If there's anybody who can come back from the injuries like this, it would be Kyrie. But again, the odds are stacked against him. He's 32. He'll be 33 next year. Um, it's a lot. Your body doesn't recover the same as when you were younger, anyways, right? But again, just devastating. Look, check it out. And um, again, look at all their injuries, y'all. Look at all their injuries. Anthony Davis, abductor strain. Daniel Gafford, knee sprain. Derek Lively II, ankle fracture. Insane. Caleb Martin, hip strain. PJ Washington, ankle sprain. Kyrie, we know what he got now. Jaden Hardy, ankle sprain. Wow. I can't believe that's 7 players that are currently out for the Dallas Mavericks. So again, they're calling it the Luka curse. After trading Luka Donćić, everything has went south for that franchise, and will continue to go south too. Because can you imagine if, and it's very possible, can you imagine if our Lakers win the championship? I think we can. And Luka's hoisting that trophy. Meanwhile, Nico Harrison is sitting at home, dealing with all the BS that's coming his way. Oh my goodness, that would be the ultimate FU to Dallas Mavericks fans. I'm sorry, it just is. I think the last thing Dallas Mavericks fans want to see is us win the championship. Unless you're a Luka fan. If you're a Luka fan, then you want it, right? So shout out to all the Luka fans that came through to Laker Nation after he got traded. But yeah, if you're a true Mavericks fan and you stayed with the franchise, the last thing you want to see is my Lakers hoisting the trophy. I already had a couple of Mavericks fans talking smack to me in the chat, telling me that they were going to beat us and this and that. And I love the energy. There's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to believe in your team, but man, the luck. This might go down as the worst trade in the history of the NBA for them. For us, one of the best, because we made so many great ones, for sure. Let's see. They gave KD. He wanted to trade him to Phoenix. Wouldn't want to be Nico Harrison right now. Must have so much hate coming his way. Oh, absolutely. If you just scour the internet and you type in, matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now. If you just type in Mavs, I'm sure we're going to find nothing but just hate, spam and hate, and man, I mean, just very disappointing for them. Let's see. I feel sorry for Kyrie, but the injuries do happen. Well, these type of injuries should not happen, right? It also matters how much your body gets put through wear and tear, and Kyrie has a lot of mileage on him. And again, his play style is very athletic, man. He's an above-the-rim player. You know what I'm saying? With the layup package he has, one of the best layup packages, with the way he attacks, the way he plays with a lot of heart, Kyrie is just spectacular to watch. He's poetry in motion. One of the best ball handlers I've ever seen, if not the best. And playmakers and scorers. So, let's see. I'll answer a couple of questions. Jose says, do you think Kyrie, LeBron, Luka can play together? They absolutely can. But why would Kyrie opt out of his $40 million contract to come take a mega pay cut with the Lakers? I just don't see that. He's already lost a lot of money in his career, to be honest. I thought Kyrie was a high possibility if he didn't opt into his contract again as the Mavs extended him, in the last offseason. But now we got Luka, we got Austin, we got LeBron, we got 3 primary ball handlers. We don't really necessarily need another one, to be honest. We could use another big for sure, but we don't have a lot of holes on our roster. Now, if Kyrie was actually to take a pay cut, opt out of his contract, and Lakers somehow clear the cap to sign him without losing any major pieces, then of course I'm on board. Of course. But I just don't foresee it, and I don't want to sell the Laker fans wolf tickets like that. You know what I mean? I really thought we had a chance to get him when he was on the chopping block, and then Dallas pulled in, and basically there was nobody else that was interested till the Lakers were interested, and then Dallas pulled up and got him. In a way, this could end up being karma for Dallas. Think about this, right? Dallas pulled off and blocked a trade that could have landed Kyrie with the Lakers. We would have lost Austin Reeves. It would have been a major loss, but we would have had LeBron, AD, and Kyrie. They blocked that off to get Kyrie. They get a nice little finals run for sure. But now they turn around and trade Luka to the Lakers, and now they lose Kyrie. I don't want to say it's karma, but for the Mavs front office, they really, You should never operate trying to block a trade from somebody. I know they hated us. I know they, of course, Kyrie's skill set factored into it, and having wanting to pair Luka with another star factored into it. I'm not gonna say it was purely trying to stop us from making a trade, but a lot of the moves that teams like the Clippers, the Mavs, teams like that make are to try to prevent the Lakers from making a move. Ever since Mark Cuban sold minority stake in that team, they completely went off the rails, though. So I actually got to give credit to Mark Cuban, which is something I never thought I would do. He was definitely helping that franchise in the right direction. But now look at this, man. They completely have fallen off the face of planet Earth. The Mavs said they didn't want to sign Luka because he doesn't play defense and they're worried about his health. Meanwhile, they're going to extend Kyrie, who is injured and not good at defense. I think, like D-Free said, he said it best. They just didn't like Luka, man. It's like at the company, right? When you got a good worker, but then this new manager comes in and he just doesn't like the good worker for whatever reason. For whatever the reason is, he just doesn't like him. And he starts treating him like crap. Eventually, the worker transfers to a different facility and somebody else inherited an amazing worker. Meanwhile, the manager's stuck there looking like a jackass. It happens in everyday life, believe it or not. People let their egos get in the way, and it ruins a good thing. When you let an ego get in the way, it can ruin a good thing. We saw Jerry Krause do it with the Chicago Bulls. If you guys haven't seen The Last Dance, you don't know what I'm talking about, but most of us that have seen The Last Dance, we know that Jerry Krause is very hated. Now, he shouldn't be that hated because he also was responsible for assembling a lot of their championship runs. But, it was more so that they wanted the credit, wanted to get rid of certain players, and it ruins everything. It ruins a good thing. And that's what happened here with the Dallas Mavericks. It ruined an amazing thing that they had going. They're literally just in the finals. This fall off is going to have to be studied for years because you go from NBA finals to potentially a lottery team in the span of a year with one quick, swift move. Insane. They blocked the trade for CP2. Yep. And I'll never forget Mark Cuban saying he was happy the Lakers were losing when Kobe Bryant was on the rebuilding Lakers back in around 06, right before we traded for Gasol. And then he said the Lakers should amnesty Kobe Bryant so that the Mavs can sign him. And then Kobe gave him that 60 piece in 3 quarters and said amnesty that. Remember that, guys? So in a way, this all comes full circle. I'm not happy about the injury. Don't get it twisted. And I didn't really necessarily hate it. The Mavs, they never really. I mean, they tried blocking trades, but so did 29 other teams. You know what I mean? It's always us against the world, but it is interesting food for thought for sure. When you operate from a negative standpoint where you're just trying to prevent another team, you hurt your own team. You got to operate from a standpoint where it's good for business. You're constantly just worried about yourself and staying in your own lane. And that applies to life. That applies to real life too. You got to operate from a perspective of, let me just worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about what these other people are doing. That's how I operate my business, right? That's how, I wake up, hear the breaking news. I do breaking news videos like these. I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing, right? But you always have to stay focused. And the Clippers are a primary example of a franchise that tries to steal some of the Lakers spotlight, but never succeeds, right? Like Chris Paul trade veto, the Lakers were going to file an appeal. Clippers swoop in, right? And they prevent it from happening. Chris Paul's a Clipper. They don't win shit. Years later, they trade Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for essentially Paul George, even though they got Kawhi as well because of it. But Paul George is the trade. So I'm going to call the trade like I see it. And, that was that. That was that. As the Eric says, I've had that happen to me before. New manager comes in and just decides they don't like you for no reason, and they try to make your life hell, so you'll leave. Yep. Happened to me as well. I worked for Amazon. I was cool with everybody. The entire facility knew me. The managers, I was a good worker, so they would call me over to their side so I could work with them. And then, they offered me a promotion. I turned it down. They were getting paid like $1.50 more with 10 times the amount of responsibilities and more hours. I didn't want that. Then they hire a young guy who comes in and takes his job too serious. And, we clashed. And I eventually left the company. Now I'm here. But that's life sometimes, You'll have some jackass that takes a job way too serious and has no clue what he's doing. That's Nico Harrison. But thank God that jackass benefited my Lakers. I will say that. For the record, the place that happened to me went out of business after I left. That's also happened to me as well. That's also happened to me and my girl. We used to work for a company. Actually, it was Boost Mobile. I can say it. I'm at liberty to say it. Boost Mobile. And there was this one boss. He was just a bad boss, man. So me and my girl both quit at the same time. He ends up closing the store. All right. But he was just really bad. I mean, he was hitting on my girl on company time. So that'll tell you how bad he was. So sometimes they deserve what they get, man. Nico Harrison has a very short lifespan in Dallas. Okay, he's not going to last there at all. I mean, we saw it when the trade happens, but this makes things worse. Guys getting injured and completely wiping off his vision of competing. I'll be honest with you guys. I told you guys when the trade happened, I don't see them competing. I don't see any Batmans over there. A bunch of Robins and some really good role players doesn't get you a championship. Unless everybody in the West got hurt and then they got lucky in the East. But I just couldn't see it. And I definitely don't see it now. Why do people try making work harder than what it is? Fucking haters. It happens, bro. There's some really bad personalities out there in the world. Not everybody's a good person. Some people will smile at you and talk shit behind your back. You know what I mean? That not everybody's a good person. You learn that sometimes the easy way when you listen to your parents and tell them to stay away from bad company, and sometimes you learn that in the hard way by individual experiences. Appreciate you, Kimiko. Thank you so much, Kimiko. Always doing work. She's probably at work and she's over here doing work. Appreciate you, Kimiko. Speaking of bad trades, I didn't realize how bad the Gobert trade actually was. The T-Wolves gave up 4 first-round picks and Walker Kessler, Vando, and Malik Beasley. Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty freaking bad for sure. There's been several bad trades in the last couple of years. It makes our trades look minimal. Think about this. We really gave up good contracts like KCP and Kuzma at the time and a first-round pick for Russ. Sounds pretty bad, but when you compare it to these other trades like the Paul George for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with 4 first-round picks, that's nothing. When you compare it to the Luka Donćić trade, it's nothing, right? And so, again, prayers up for Kyrie, but man, it's just a bad omen. The trade was just a bad omen for sure. It seems like the Mavs ownership is intentionally ruining the franchise. Now they're raising ticket prices. Yeah, what's going on? The NBA needs to step in and force them to sell. And again, I give 2 shits about the Dallas Mavericks franchise, but it's all for the fans. I care more about the fans. Fans in any, except for Clipper fans. Clipper fans deserve all the Wolves tickets they buy because they're just idiots. But every other fan base doesn't really deserve this, man. To be honest, I'm looking out for the people. And it's a devastator, man, to see this happening to them because, again, they were just in the finals last year, right? That's insane that they're raising ticket prices. That should be a crime. If I'm the commissioner, I don't know. I'm figuring out a way that they're really trying to ruin the franchise to try to move it out of the city or what? I'm trying to get to the bottom of this if I'm the commissioner. Nico doesn't care about that. He knows he only has a few years. Frightening thing is the ownership is of the same minds as Nico. Remember, the owner also blasted Luka. You don't make a deal. I'm glad they did. I'm glad. Listen, the biggest blessing for Laker fans was that they're idiots. As a matter of fact, it's a huge blessing for Luka. Imagine Luka wasting away his prime for a franchise that's run by just absolute morons. Thank God for him as well and his family. They got out of there. They didn't deserve that, right? The fans don't deserve that. The players that are currently there, AD, I hope he gets out of town at some point. I hope he requests a trade or something and doesn't waste the end of his prime careers there because that front office doesn't deserve what any of those players, not PJ Washington, not Max Christie, and definitely not Anthony Davis. You hate to see it, man. Yeah, what's up, Tamika? It's a devastator for sure. But knowing Kyrie Irving, he's going to fight extremely hard to get back to what he was. So we'll be rooting for him on the side. And, wish him a speedy recovery. Like that without ownership approval. I just, again. Dan, this also happened to me. My manager didn't like me at all to the point where he got other employees to sign a petition saying, I don't do my work. Wow. Those are the biggest type of Karens in the world right there. Listen, if you're a manager, you don't own the company. Okay, it's okay to take a chill pill. Get your job done. You know what I'm saying? The company is really living off the back of the employees. They're the worker ants. They're the ones that are going to elevate the company. Respect the employees. Respect the workers. It's insane how much disrespect goes on in these companies. And I don't know. It's better to work for yourself, guys. That's all I will say. I've been blessed enough to find my niche, but it's better to work for yourself. There's a theory they're tanking the team to move it elsewhere. Yeah, I've heard of that, and it's starting to seem a lot more plausible, bro. I've heard so many theories from the NBA's rigged and needed more ratings, so they traded him to the Lakers. Yeah, right. That's why they blocked the Chris Paul trade. So yeah, that theory is debunked. To the one you just said, I've heard so many theories, and they're all interesting, to be honest. Nothing is obviously confirmed, but if they do end up moving out of Dallas, then we'll know that shit was true. That is insane, right? The casino theory. I mean, there's so many. Let's see. Your Lakers have a future now. I hate to break it to you, my boy, but the Lakers always had a future. We always had a past, a present, and a future. We're one of the few franchises that I never really worry about in the NBA ever, because I always tell you guys the Lakers, death, taxes, and the Lakers rising like the sun again. It always happens. Even when we have an off year or two, we'll figure it out. And this is what drives me crazy about a lot of fans that come in here disrespecting and saying stuff like, "Oh, you guys are done after Kobe retires. Oh, you guys won't be crap after LeBron retires." Now they're gonna say the same thing about Luka. They've probably been saying the same shit since Magic, right? And it's like, when will you guys learn that history repeats itself? The Lakers are a great franchise, and we'll continue to stay on top forever. It's just the way it goes, right? Now, obviously, it's sports. You can't always win a championship every year, or you can't even compete every year. But that is the golden standard in the Lakers. As long as they follow that standard, to build a competitive roster every chance they get, we're going to be amazing. We have the market, we have the history, we have the trophies, the city, the beautiful people. We have it all. The food, the weather. Why wouldn't elite superstars come here and continue that tradition, right? We're like I don't know if I'm making the right soccer comparison here, but we're like the Barcelona of basketball, right? They're raising prices after giving refunds, etc. After the Luka trade, by the way, them raising prices is just them bringing back to the normal. But they should be given discounts after the bullshit they rolled out there on the court. They should be given discounts and free tickets to concerts and stuff just for getting people to get there. But it does seem like they don't really care about the people. Adam Silver probably did a backflip when he heard that Luka was being traded to the Lakers. Well, yeah, because the ratings are going to be higher for sure. Anytime the Lakers are at the top, the NBA is at the top. And this is why it is a blessing when we get players like LeBron, Luka, AD, because viewership goes up and the interest just spikes up. It's no difference. Now the interest is always there. It's not like we ever have empty arenas or nothing, but it just is. We have a universal appeal. It's different. There's a few teams in the NBA that have that universal appeal. The Lakers are the main one, right? If you're a Laker, the world knows your name, right? Why do you think Kobe was the number one selling Chinese jersey and it wasn't Yao, even when Yao was active? Think about that. And Yao was one of the top three for sure, but he wasn't number one when Kobe was out there. Kobe was. And so it tells you the universal appeal that basketball has. When you're a Laker, especially, it's insane. 100% shoot. He said, come back home, AD. You got to feel sorry for AD too, man. AD gets traded from LA to there. They have no chance to win it, in my opinion, anytime soon. Unless they pull off something crazy. Let's just say they go into the offseason. I wouldn't put it past them to try to go and get Kevin Durant now, because it will make them look less. It will make them look less, like incompetent. But I don't even think that's the move either. But I can see them going in the offseason trying to trade for Kevin Durant. I can see that happening. Just try to save face a little bit. But then again, if they don't care, they're not going to do crap. They're just going to sit on their hands. For sure. Dan, the CBA helps us rather than hurts us. Well, the Lakers always figure out a way. And again, I got to give credit to Rob Pelinka because he was an agent before. So he knows how to navigate around these type of situations, how to keep us under the first apron, stuff like that, second apron, right? So he's got to know. He knows how to crunch down the numbers, and he's got to know it. But again, there's been a lot of missteps for sure, but it happens to every front office. Every front office has missteps. They do. right? Like, name me a front office that has been perfect throughout their stint, and I will call you a bold-faced liar. Every front office has had missteps, and this is what I always tell you guys, and why I like to have grace for my front office is that they do a lot more good than bad. Let's think about since Genie took over, what has happened, right? We hire Magic, we hire Rob Pelinka, we land LeBron James, we trade for Anthony Davis. There's missteps along the way. We trade for Russell Westbrook. We hire the wrong coaches, right? Darvin Ham. But then we get back on track, right? Now we trade for Luka. We hired JJ. So it's a lot more good than bad. And that's what we have to look at as fans. We got to be very patient because there will be missteps along the way, right? Drafting Jalen Hachifino over all those players, over Cam Whitmore or Jaime Jaquez was a misstep, but it's a minor misstep, right? And we quickly corrected that by taking Dalton the next season, a more NBA-ready player. Even at the time that we drafted Jalen Hachifino, it didn't make sense to me because he was a young project. And it's like, wait a minute, we're on the AD LeBron timeline, right? So there has been, I'm not going to sit here and act like Rob Pelinka has been perfect, but him and Jeanie Buss have done an exceptional job. They've delivered a championship since Jeanie came on. Think about the job her brother was doing with the rebuild, never even saw the playoffs, to the job Jeanie has done with LeBron, obviously, being at the forefront of that. Adding him was major, but we again, this is why I tell you guys, it's good to be very patient with our front office because look, the glory days are always around the corner with the Lakers. We're not these other franchises. Other franchises, they take a misstep and they are set back for 10 years, like the Mavs, right? Other front offices, they take a misstep. They don't have the same market we do, right? People want to act like, oh, it's the new CBA, oh, it's the new NBA. With all these marketing and brand deals, it doesn't matter. No, it still matters. The market still matters. Other teams take a misstep and they are pushed back 10, 15 years, right? I think the Kings have taken major missteps, right? And believe it or not, like they trade Tyrese Halliburton, now Fox, for Levine. They don't even get a player like Castle back from the Spurs. It's like, what are you doing? Who's running that franchise? Hiring the wrong coaches like Luke Walton. Like, you know what I mean? So again, like some franchises, they completely are clueless of what they're doing. The Clippers are the number one franchise that does this. The Clippers consistently making stupid moves, consistently, and will continue to do so because they're the Clippers. Nobody should expect anything better from them. Nobody. Listen, their splash at the trade deadline was Ben Simmons and Bogdanovic, right? Bojan Bogdanovic. That's their splash. And they only made that move because they didn't want to be, left out when the Lakers made such a blockbuster. You see what I mean? That's how they operate. And that's why they're never going to be a successful franchise. Jonathan, thank you so much for Super Chat, brother. He said, gotta feel for the Mavs fans. Prayers up for Kyrie. I do feel for the Mavs fans. And I rarely feel bad for other fan bases, but Mavs fans, you completely have my mercy, man. I feel bad for y'all, for reals. Y'all been treated, beaten, and battered. You're welcome to switch over to a purple and golden franchise where the standard is always here. You're welcome. Listen, at the end of the day, if your franchise treats you like crap, it's like a relationship. You don't owe them nothing. You're a free agent at the end of the day. You ain't married to that organization. Laker fans, we're married to our organization. They have treated us like royalty. Even if the Lakers, God forbid, and it will never happen, but even if the Lakers never win a championship again, I am married to what the Lakers have done for me forever. They give me a lot of my sports joy, most of it. 90% of my sports joy comes from the Lakers. The other 10% comes from the Dodgers and the other LA teams combined. That's how much of a Laker fan I am. Is they control so much of my happiness. They do, and they've given me so much of it that I owe them for the rest of my entire life, and my family generations will continue to be Laker fans. Well, when you're a Mavs fan, you guys haven't won since Dirk Nowitzki, right? What is that? 2010, 2011. We're in 2025, and you guys are nowhere close now. The closest you got was in the finals last year, and they threw that away completely. You don't owe that franchise your loyalty. So you're welcome to come right on down, subscribe to this channel, number one source for all things Lakers and NBA basketball talk. So make sure you guys tap in there. But Mavs fans, you're welcome to come over. All right. And again, I'm just trying to save you guys from a franchise that's coming down, and it looks like you're crashing and burning right now. I know it hurts. You guys probably love your Mavs, but you don't owe that franchise anything because they're not repaying the fans, at all. He said, Solo said the Bulls franchise is horrible. Rensdorf has the Bulls as passive income at this point. He owns the Sox too. He should be forced to sell. Chicago fans deserve better. Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. Some of these owners are just out here selling tickets. That's it. Like I said, passive income. The Hornets are another horrible franchise. They don't know what they're doing. They never do. We saw it at the trade deadline. They're horrible. They don't even operate from a professional standpoint. And it shows because they're never winning anything. And somehow, their most exciting thing, ironically, is their color commentator. The guy who's always getting excited. He's their most exciting thing about that franchise. And they got LaMelo as well, by the way, but I don't think they'll know how to put him in positions to succeed, right? To them, LaMelo's the next Kemba Walker. Just a cool ticket to sell till he wastes his prime, and then they flip him for another cool ticket to sell. So I don't like franchises that operate from that standpoint. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't get me started on the Kings. I'm saying there's always missteps, but this is a monumental misstep. They picked Bagley over Luka. Our biggest draft misstep was taking Lonzo Ball over Jason Tatum. I hate to say it. Or Fox. Either of those two players would have been better, way better than Lonzo. However, I don't blame the Lakers for taking that pick because at the time, Lonzo was an elite star player from college who looked like the next Jason Kidd. Even I thought he was going to be the next guy. Unfortunately for Lonzo, injuries did him in. But when he's not injured, he's not a bad player at all. I'm not saying he could have been as good as LaMelo, but he's not a bad player at all. He's a very good starting caliber player. But that was our biggest draft misstep that I can remember in recent history, for sure. Let's see here. Bulls are obsessed with MJ's legacy. Yeah, they got to get over that. You got to move on eventually. You got to move on to the next step, for sure. It's the curse of D Rose. Damn. Yeah, when they traded him, that was messed up for sure. NBA needs to step in and make the Mavs sell like they did the Clippers. NBA needs to step in and ship the Clippers out to Siberia and make the Mavs sell for sure. But it might be too early, and they just didn't they just buy it? The Mavs didn't a new ownership group just barely purchase it like last year or so. Now, by the way, shout out to Alex Rodriguez and his ownership group who just bought the Timberwolves. I actually think they're going to be great for the Timberwolves, for the city of Minnesota. Because the guy who was there before was absolute garbage. All right, absolute garbage. This is the guy who drafted Johnny Flynn over Steph Curry. Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio over Steph Curry. We're talking about absolute garbage, right? And so now, ever since, and remember, they've been trying to purchase the team for years. Ever since the Alex ownership group, right? Tried purchasing the Timberwolves, they've been trending in the right direction. A lot of their moves that they have been making was based off of that. Obviously, they drafted Ant-Man, all of that. So they're going in the right direction for sure. Lakers could have had Tatum or Mitchell. And crazy, right? Or Fox. So, yeah, again, every franchise has its mistakes. You don't have a crystal ball, so you can't make every decision properly, right? But then there's levels to this, man. You got the Clippers who are trading the Shea Gilgeous-Alexanders of the world for PG. And then you got, minor mistakes like the Lakers have made. Johnny Flynn was a bust. I think so. He was. Yeah, he was. Johnny Flynn. My God. Adam Silver is absolutely fine with the Mavs. Man, it's a shame. You got to feel bad because I don't see them selling. I don't see them selling anytime soon. Literally. Like, I don't know if Mavs fans are going to have to take pitchforks to the arena every game, during off days, during on days. I don't know what they're going to have to do, but I don't think they can get that team to sell. Remember when the Pelicans said they won the trade? Bro, everybody who makes a move thinks they won the trade for us, and then reality sets in. Believe it or not, there was some Mavs fans that were delusional and say we were stupid for making the trade and that they were going to win the championship because all they needed was an elite big man. Right? But I like the confidence and all of that, but we got at some point, basketball IQ has to kick in, and you have to understand that. The last time a team won without having a true Batman on there, right, was probably the Detroit Pistons, who had like 4 All-Stars. They were all Robins. There was a couple of Batgirls on there and some Alfreds, but that was the last time that I can remember that it was just a team with no stars who won the championship. Like, it's just a bunch of borderline All-Stars who, by the way, all made it because of the record. 2004. We're in 2025. It's been 21 years since that has happened. I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. Okay. Most of the time, you have to have a Batman to win a championship. Almost all of the time. You have to. Right? And this is what that was my point. The 06 Miami Heat, too? No, they had D Wade, bro. They had D Wade. At the time, D Wade was a Batman at the time. D Wade was the Flash at the time. As much as I don't like him, he was good. He was damn good. Yeah, that was definitely their Batman. The Pelicans fumbled that trade. Like, he was a true superstar. Oh, man, the Pelicans, don't even get me started. The Pelicans are a team that this could be a whole entire other hour video, so I'm not going to go into it, but the Pelicans drafted horribly wrong, right? They could have had John Morant. Everybody thought Zion was going to be that guy, so I don't blame them, but Zion over John Morant was a big misstep for them. The trade didn't work out for them. Like, they don't have anything to show for it. Brandon Ingram just got traded away, so that was the last piece of the Laker that they had to show for it. So, man, just horrific, man. Can't just force them to sell, and it's not up to Adam Silver. Majority owners have to agree to it. Silver works for the owners. Yep. He knows the NBA just can't decide to make moves or even rules. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not selling anytime soon. I agree, bro. Anytime soon. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Adam Silver works for the owners, not the other way around. Yes, he can bring down the Swift hammer if something really bad happens, like Sterling with the Clippers. But outside of that, yeah, he works for them. Not them for him. So, yep. That's insane, right? Let's go. We got a super chat.
Oh my God! Wow!
Thank you so much for life. He said, "Good day, D. Glad the Mavs gave a loyal player and his fans to Laker Nation." Facts. He said, "What comes first, Dan? A Luka 50-point game or a 20-assist game?" 50-point game. I think it's a 50-point game. Although the 20-assist game could happen easily, but with Luka, with his high basketball IQ, but I think everybody has to be firing on all cylinders to give him the 20-assist game. He's got to be the only one firing to get the 50-piece. That's a great question, by the way. I'm glad you asked it. I can see him getting a 50-piece before the 20-assist game for that reason, because he can get hot at any moment. He's one of those players, right? He's just going to heat up. He's like a microwave. And then, again, to get the 20-assist game, everybody has to be firing. So it's more likely that he gets hot than all the other players get hot at the same time. So that would be awesome, though. Hey, I do appreciate the super chat, my guy. Thank you so much. But yeah, I can't wait to see his first 50-point game as a Lakers. It's coming really soon. I wouldn't even be shocked if he does it before the regular season ends. Right? It's coming really soon. But it would be more exciting in the postseason. That is when oh my goodness, we got the biggest killer since Kobe Bryant on the team, and of course LeBron James. But offensively, Kobe Bryant. Like, that is insane to think about. We haven't had a player that has this kind of killer clutch gene since Kobe, in my opinion. And it speaks volumes to just how much of a stupid trade this was for the Mavs. And again, it's not to disrespect AD, because AD is a Hall of Fame player and a champion and will always love him. But he's 32 years of age. 32 years of age. That's the bottom line. 32, 26. You know what I mean? One player is already much better offensively, and just has a bigger impact on the game already at 26 versus the other player, who, of course, is a way better defender. But, the offense was hit or miss. Luka and LeBron combo in the playoffs is going to be insane, fam. I can't wait for it. For sure, I cannot wait for it. Right? Kimiko, appreciate you, Kimiko. You're goated, Kimiko. We're going to go up into the 59-minute mark. Any final comments, questions, concerns? Pre-game is still coming at 6:30. I think the game's at 7:30, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, pre-game's coming up at 6:30. Stay tuned for that. If you already have not hit the like button, please do. I do appreciate it, man. We continue to grow here. We're very close to 26,000. So let's hit that like button. Keep growing the family. Sharon says, I don't like 50-point games. It usually comes at the expense of other players. That's fair, Sharon. But listen, I'm from the Kobe era. I love 50-point games, and I could give a damn about the other players. I feel you, Sharon. You're more of a team player. It is a team sport, so I can see your point of view. However, I get really excited when one player can put the team on his back. And usually these games happen. They don't happen just to ball hog, right? They happen within the flow of the game, and it happens when other players are struggling. Somebody picks up the workload, and that's when I really love the 50-point games plus, right? And one of my favorite individual games ever, actually, my favorite individual game ever was 81 from Kobe. and we were down 20 plus to the Toronto Raptors. I still remember it like it was yesterday, right? Still remember it. Nah, Chewy, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Chewy. Thank you guys, man. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Let's see. My guy says AD is a top 75 player, one of the most decorated players ever, and has one of the best basketball careers. When you consider his accolades, he's one of the only players to ever win that much. Amazing player. We were blessed to have him. His jersey will most likely hang from the rafters. Great player, man. Great player. However, I do feel like, all that being said, I do feel like him and LeBron as a duo and what they were capable of doing and what the front office put together around that duo, I think as a combination, they all underachieved for what that duo is capable of. Like you said, top 75 player. We had two of them on the same team, and they only won one championship. I wish it was more than that, because then we would have been speaking so much higher of AD. But AD will hang from the rafters, and, was a special player, and we're grateful and we're thankful we had him. I mean, Laker fans are we're spoiled. Our standard is multiple championships because that's what we've been used to all our lives. So, D Wade had to average damn near 40. Yeah, no, D Wade was a Batman at that time, for sure. Dwayne Wade was an absolute Batman. Make no mistake. You cannot throw him in this list. I mentioned the Detroit Pistons. They didn't have a legitimate superstar at the time. D Wade was a legitimate superstar at that time. So since the 04 Pistons, there hasn't been a team with a bunch of Robins that wins a championship. I remember Kobe's 81 because I missed it while I was at work. You missed it? Oh, man. I was watching live. My brother was on the phone with his pops, and we were here just sitting watching. And I'm tapping him on the shoulder like, bro, get off the phone. Are you watching this? And he eventually got off the phone like in the fourth quarter, but he was watching the whole time. And I still remember we had that box TV. You guys remember the box TVs, the old school ones where you had to pull the lever? I believe, was it a KCAL 9 game? I don't remember if it was a KCAL 9 game. It might have been a cable game. But yeah, we had the box TV where you pull the lever and you turn it on. And oh my God, we was so hyped. Once he got past 70, we're like, man, he's going for a fucking 100 right now. He went off, man. That was crazy. That was the most impressive individual performance I've seen, because again, Kobe wasn't the type of player that got everything at the free throw line. He earned it. He wasn't this Steph Curry, James Harden breed of softies that get 20 free throws per game. When he got his free throws, he was really getting hacked. He was getting close line. His jersey was getting pulled. He was getting dropped to the ground. Like, it was a true earned 81. It wasn't given, right? Nowadays, when I see 70 plus, I don't get that. I don't get that impressed. But with Luka, it is impressive. Luka's another one of those players that earns his free throws for sure. And as you can see, he hasn't been getting a lot of calls as a Laker. So hopefully that changes soon. All right, chat. That's going to wrap it up for my breaking news video. I know we always go into different topics, but again, this was we want to wish Kyrie a speedy recovery, man. If there's anybody who can get back, it's Kyrie Irving. He's got the Mamba mentality, so he's cut from the same cloth. Shout out to that man. And Mavs fans, either hang in there or join the club, man. Whatever you guys want to do, but the door is open for you guys to join us, because this is where the glory happens. This is where the real magic happens. And I will see you guys, my beautiful Laker family. I will see you guys later on tonight for pregame. Stay tuned for that. I can't wait for that. I didn't want to talk about that out of respect for Kyrie, but we'll talk about it pregame at 6:30 Pacific time. So stay tuned. Like button, subscribe if you already haven't. Major shout out to my sponsorship Prize Picks, and I will see you guys later. Peace.